Final game of day one from the Under-18 Atlantic Soccer Showcase. We are live in Wolfville, Nova Scotia at Raymond Field on the campus of Acadia University. Scott Squires and the Bell Alliant TV1 crew. Glad to have you with us. Our final game on day one features the Nova Scotia U18 boys wearing blue with the white numbers, going left to right. On your screen, taking on the side from New Brunswick, the Under-17 boys. They'll be wearing green and black with white numbers. Starting in goal for New Brunswick will be Nick Jeffries, and his opposite number, starting out playing the first half in goal for Nova Scotia, will be Seamus McDonald. Mark Elton coaching New Brunswick, and Matt Holton has the coaching duties for Nova Scotia in this one. Glad to have you with us. Our fourth game of the day, fourth and final game under the lights here at Raymond Field. It's been a lot of great soccer here. And Nova Scotia and New Brunswick will wrap up the day for us. We will be here all weekend long. Games tomorrow and Saturday as well as Sunday. We'll have them all for you right here on Bell Alliant TV1. And we are underway, and quickly the ball moved into the Nova Scotia side of the pitch and whistled down. Should be a pretty good pace between these two teams. And the sun no longer a factor here as we cross 8:35 local time. Nova Scotia controlling the ball in their end. They try to move it up across midfield. New Brunswick comes away with it now. But Nova Scotia, almost a miscue there. Coming away with the ball now is Warren. William Warren tried to chip it over on the side, and it's picked off there. And New Brunswick will just watch that roll out of bounds, and they'll take the throw in. Early stages here, and Harold O takes that off the shoulder, and Nova Scotia will throw it in. This is Cameron McKinnon. McKinnon throws it in, but New Brunswick controls. Gersh Mambo gets it up ahead, and again New Brunswick will watch that go out of bounds. Early action here. New Brunswick throws it in. Challenging and coming away with it is Reddick for Nova Scotia. Over on the sideline. Over near that out of bounds area, but tight roping it was Reddick. He loses it though to New Brunswick. And away comes Team New Brunswick with some speed and pace. This is Brideau. Brideau had it taken away at the last minute there by Matthew Larder. Larder got it back to Seamus McDonald, the keeper for Nova Scotia, and he moves it forward. So you can already tell this is going to be a fast-paced game. Both these teams challenge going on. Here's a shot off the left foot. He scores! Just like that, William Warren, WW, and it's 1-0 Nova Scotia. He comes up the middle from about 30 yards, goes to the left foot, and a very solid strike there from the Nova Scotia player. And William Warren has scored early on here, just in the 3rd minute of action. So a great start. And I had just finished saying that It looked like it was going to be a fast-paced game throughout. Both of these teams just coming out pedal to the metal. And I barely had the words out of my mouth, and William Warren with a lovely strike. Just solid foot to ball. And got it past the keeper, Nick Jeffries. So an outstanding start here for Team Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia looking to keep that pace pushed forward now. They try to get the ball up the sideline. It goes out of bounds. But just a great start here for Team Nova Scotia. Couldn't ask for much more, getting on the board in the 3rd minute. Putting the pressure on New Brunswick right away. New Brunswick now looks to get some pace going back the other way. See if they can get something going toward Nova Scotia goal here. Down into the corner, can they cross it out in front? They try to work it out there, but it's just a sea of blue, and it goes out over the end line. So this should be a corner kick now for New Brunswick. So New Brunswick setting up this corner, first one of the game for either side. Low curving corner, went out towards Thomas Maillet. He tried to get it into the middle, but Nova Scotia clears it away. Chasing after it there is Mambo. Gersh Mambo gets it up, but again, Nova Scotia will stop it. And Seamus McDonald will control. Ball comes back there, keeping a close eye on it was Mambo, but it went to the keeper, Jeffries. He moves it up ahead and it goes out of bounds, and Nova Scotia will have the throw in. Nice crowd on hand here at Raymond Field for a Thursday evening, bit of a chilly evening in mid-May, but a nice crowd on hand nonetheless, and a pretty energetic crowd to say the least. Harold O has that ball on this near side, works it up ahead. New Brunswick trying to gain control. Brennan has it there. New Brunswick trying to work it up. O comes over for a look. Here's Mambo. Goes cross field to his teammate. New Brunswick trying to set it up from their back end. Long ball forward, headed down by Nova Scotia and out of play. New Brunswick now retreats into their own end. New Brunswick side of center. Over here for Mambo. Mambo, a little bit of fancy footwork now, pushes it up ahead to McSheffrey. McSheffrey, nice little ball forward. And that's called offside as New Brunswick just a little too anxious and got in behind the Nova Scotia back line before that ball was put forward. Nova Scotia now will look to get it right back in the New Brunswick end. Knocked down there nicely by O. Harold O overran the ball for a second, stops. Gets it there for Brennan. Brennan tried to walk over the ball but lost control, and Nova Scotia gets it right back. Over there is Doucette, Pascal Doucette, and now it's on the far side. High ball forward, and that looked to be offside, but once the ball comes down, Nova Scotia had gotten in behind. Coming in again, trying to get in around the defense there was Warren. Same type of deal as he came right in around the top of that 20-yard box in the scoring area and just got taken off the play. Here's Warren again, dangerous. Turned over though, and O gets knocked down as the play and the pace pick up. Some good moves, some good tackles, and some real good football going on right now at Acadia. O challenging him for that ball right over his back was Cameron McKinnon. And back it goes to Mambo, Gersh Mambo. Steps it, knocks it down, moves it up ahead there. Little chip forward now is New Brunswick. Looks to gain a little real estate here. This is O. O moved it forward, and it goes to Nova Scotia, and they decide just to play it back to McDonald in goal and regroup, and he pushes forward. Nova Scotia again regrouping from their back line, using their goalkeeper to reset things. Doing that same plan again now. Seamus McDonald has no problem with that approach. The Nova Scotia keeper moved it up, and now high ball lofted forward off the head there of McKinnon. Mambo gets it up quickly. Here comes New Brunswick again on the counterattack. Trying to make a run forward for O. They couldn't see him. Ball gets turned around. Chipped over there by Buck. And now Nova Scotia back the other way, trying to get it in behind the New Brunswick defense. But it's headed over to the corner, and it goes out of bounds. Nova Scotia with the throw in. 11 minutes gone by here in this first half. 1-0 Nova Scotia on the strength of the Warren William goal in the 3rd minute. Mambo, crossfield. New Brunswick trying to move it out of their half now. And now they decide to play it back to their keeper, and Jeffries will look to get this ball up around midfield. Up there looking for Brennan. Brennan tried to get ahead on it, but it comes down to O. That just goes past Brennan. Alex Black, he moved it forward. Here's Warren now, the goal scorer. Warren goes around Mambo, goes to the left foot, tries to bend it in, and just a little too much leg and a little too much air underneath that shot. But a nice idea, and William Warren has been dangerous here, no doubt about it. Number 12 in blue has had a couple of good looks at goal, and he's counted one. Jeffries will play the first half for New Brunswick, and Christian Masamengo will play the second half. Nova Scotia on the attack once again. Here comes Black. Black challenged there by Mambo. Gives the ball off. Nova Scotia regroups. It's McKinnon. Warren into the middle, and that's cleared away. McKinnon with the throw in. Warren was looking for it. Put over toward goal, but from a very awkward angle, a off-balance shot. And no problem there for the keeper, Jeffries. New Brunswick pretty much hemmed up in their own end here. A lot of the play the last few minutes has been on the New Brunswick side of the pitch. Mumbo tries to change that, get that ball ahead for O. O tried to catch up to it, but just couldn't get to that ball in time and gain control. Seamus McDonald now, the keeper for Nova Scotia, will put it into play. Several players calling for it. Nova Scotia gets ahead to it first. And retreating there for it was Doucette. And Nova Scotia, once again, they have control. Nova Scotia controlling in their own end. Turning, trying to fire that ball up. Goes out of bounds, and New Brunswick will get a throw in. With 15 minutes off the clock here in this 40-minute half. Final game on day one of the Under-18 Atlantic Canada Soccer Showcase. Ball out of bounds once again. Nova Scotia having to defend here now is New Brunswick in on it once again. This is McSheffrey. Back. Trying to work in around now is Buck. Buck had it stopped there, and Warren clears it up for Nova Scotia, and it goes out high into the air and well down into the New Brunswick end. Of course, you know the wildfires in Alberta have affected thousands of lives, and you can certainly help those in need by visiting redcross.ca to learn how to donate, or you can simply text FIRES, that's F-I-R-E-S, to 45678 to donate $10 to the Red Cross Canada's Alberta Fires Emergency Appeal. Got about 22 minutes left in this half. New Brunswick tried to get it over into the middle. And a nice cross there, but Seamus McDonald, no problem, as he was square to the ball and took it right into the midsection and hangs on. McDonald gets that well ahead. Fight for it along there. Warren took it away from Brennan. Tries to work it again toward the middle, but nobody there, and it'll head toward the end line and be a goal kick for New Brunswick. So Nick Jeffries will tee it up here. Inside 21 minutes left now in this first half of action. A couple of players get ahead on that. And it's Nova Scotia who will control. And a good tackle there, as taking his man down was number 14 for New Brunswick, Zane Brennan. So good solid tackle. And that's the one thing with soccer. Just because you see a man fly up in the air and go down to the ground doesn't mean there's going to be a penalty called. That was a good clean tackle by Brennan. Good technical soccer right there. Ball thrown in by McKinnon. Trying to chase it there was Reddick. Nova Scotia with control. This is the goal scorer, Warren. Warren, that left foot shot going in deep, tried to cut it toward the New Brunswick goal. Went a little too deep, and New Brunswick quickly turned it back the other way. Play now back over the center stripe into the Nova Scotia end of the field. Nova Scotia will regroup. This is Pascal Doucette. He gets it over onto that other side. Pass straight up ahead, and that goes out of play. One nothing your score here. Nova Scotia under 18 boys leading the New Brunswick under 17 boys. Goal scored by William Warren in the 3rd minute. So Nova Scotia got on the board early and things settle down after that. Ball thrown in, Nova Scotia with control around the center part of the field. They work it back, seeing if they can break through. Good job there as Mumbo knocked it down for New Brunswick. Gersh Mumbo playing a solid defensive role for New Brunswick so far through the first part of this half. Warren, little chip off there. Spinning with it is McKinnon for Nova Scotia. McKinnon goes back to Warren. Warren works around his man. Takes a step to one side, puts the brakes on now, looks for something over on that middle part of the field. Nova Scotia just content to work that ball around, use those crisp little passes. Kind of using the Barcelona ball control here. Ball forward, headed away by New Brunswick. And speaking of European football, how about Leicester City? My goodness. What an unbelievable story unfolding in the English Premier League. Leicester had never won the EPL title. I believe the highest they were was 2nd back in 1920 something. As Nova Scotia breaks in now with a chance and a good tackle again laid in there, but Leicester City 5,000 to 1 odds at the beginning of the year. Battled relegation last year, and this year just, I mean, you hear the term Cinderella story, and sometimes it's overused, but they talked about North American sports equivalents, and I mean, they were talking about Cleveland Browns winning the Super Bowl, or I don't know, the San Diego Padres winning the World Series a couple of years ago, that type of thing. But anyway, hard to think of football right now and not think of the job that Leicester City did by claiming the EPL championship. Just a wonderful story. Even if you're not a football or soccer fan, that's a very, very cool story, what happened with Leicester City. There's no doubt about it. Play, or time, just ticking away here. And the goal kick from New Brunswick. New Brunswick looking to get that ball ahead. Up chasing after it there was Brideau. Brideau couldn't get the control he wanted, but New Brunswick will stay in possession of the ball. Coming up to about 15.5 minutes left here in this half. Nova Scotia with the ball, working in their own end. Haven't really been any kind of trouble here in this half so far. The one real good chance that New Brunswick had in this half was a corner kick a little while ago. But really, nothing else from an offensive standpoint from New Brunswick, at least to this standpoint. Nova Scotia move that ball forward. Here's Mambo now. Gersh Mambo chasing after, but it comes over onto the side. And coming together there was O and Warren. O from New Brunswick, Warren from Nova Scotia meet along the sidelines. Play whistle down, and Nova Scotia gets possession. They move it around now, very content, just to play that quick pass style. Not out of character for this Nova Scotia team, at least what they've shown so far, to use 5, 6, 7 short little passes to try and advance the ball. But this is O for New Brunswick now. Down that left side, nice little back pass. Got it over there for Brennan. Brennan working against 2 defenders, gets taken down. So good defense there by Nova Scotia, but a slick, cheeky little pass there from Harold O, setting up Zane Brennan. But a couple of defenders quickly closed in on Brennan and shut down any opportunity that he might have. The frenetic pace that we saw in the first 5 or 6 minutes has certainly kind of settled in to a more tepid pace the last little bit, but that's to be expected. The way these two teams came out, you wouldn't expect them to keep that up for 80 minutes, that's for sure. And you can probably hear the crowd just below our broadcast position here, getting the chant of "Let's go NB, let's go" going, at least the New Brunswick faithful getting that going. And again, nice to see a good crowd on hand here at Raymond Field this evening. Trying to bust through there was Brideau. He had some good pace, but couldn't quite catch up to the ball. And it went out, so it'll be a goal kick for Seamus McDonald. You can send us a tweet or send out a tweet, and we'll be able to see it if you use the hashtag TV1. We've had some tweets from quite a few people throughout the day today, family, friends, and otherwise, of players taking part in this event, and that's great. We appreciate it. Nice to know you're watching. Nice to know you're enjoying the coverage. And we're very happy to be able to do it for you here on Bell Alliant TV1. And remember to learn more about programming and content that we have, both webcast and for fiber op customers in Atlantic Canada on Channel 1 and 401, as well as on-demand content. Please visit www.bellalliant.ca/TV1. There's more to love with fiber op. That ball high into the air and out of bounds. As I don't know if you can pick it up on our ambient mics, but the church bells ringing loud, crisp, and clear, floating through the airwaves here in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Quite an atmosphere here at Raymond Field. Beautiful turf field under the lights, nice crowd on hand, incredibly talented soccer players, beautiful view of the water to one side, the campus of Acadia to another side, and the sound of church bells filling the air. It's almost a magical type of scene here. And it's been magical so far for Nova Scotia as they lead 1-0 on the strength of that William Warren goal. Way back in the 3rd minute, here they come again, perhaps looking for more. They're in! Sliding out there, and a nice move by Jeffries to come. Dominic Hasek, like to use a hockey comparison, coming way out of his goal and sliding to take away a potential scoring opportunity. So good instincts there by the New Brunswick keeper, Nick Jeffries, to rush out of his crease and to break up that opportunity. So almost 30 minutes have gone by here in this half. Teams will take a quick 10-minute break between the first and second half. Nova Scotia. That comes to McKinnon. McKinnon gets it back now. Warren. McKinnon. And McKinnon now goes to his back line where it's picked up there by Doucette. Nova Scotia again using those short little passes to set up their game and to advance the ball. Down the sideline and not able to keep it in on the far side, so it'll be a throw-in for Team New Brunswick. Inside 10 minutes left here in this first half. 1-0 your score, Nova Scotia leading New Brunswick. Day 1 of the Under-18 Atlantic Showcase presented by Soccer Nova Scotia. Glad to have it for you on Bella Lion TV1. I'm Scott Squires along with our Bella Lion TV1 crew. Wherever you are tuned into our webcast this evening, welcome aboard. Great to have you. Some nice 1v1 battles going on and some pretty solid tackles taking place all over the field here. It's been no lack of physicality in this game, and for the most part, it's been pretty clean. So a real nice game of soccer going on the turf here at Raymond Field. Long ball forward. I think O realized he couldn't chase that down. New Brunswick will kind of regroup here. Push that ball ahead. And it does just go out according to the side official. Nova Scotia with that ball again, just going back to their keeper, McDonald. He puts it forward for Doucette. Doucette meanders up the field, chips it ahead for Warren. Warren splits the defense, gets it back now. Little touch pass there from Jabir. Over for McKinnon. And McKinnon retreats it now, once again back to Doucette. And as we've seen a few times, Nova Scotia, when they want to get it set up, they'll go back to their keeper and let Seamus McDonald reset things. Back once again, Seamus McDonald sends it upfield. Chip down there, comes onto the foot of McKinnon. And once again back to Doucette. Doucette goes into that 20-yard area. Nova Scotia move it up now on that far side. New Brunswick gives chase, but not able to take the ball away from this ball possession side, Nova Scotia. That is certainly their game. It's all about quick little passes and ball possession. Up ahead now to McKinnon. McKinnon and Warren, and now again back to Doucette and back to McDonald. Same script, different scene. Here we go again. Doucette moves it into the middle now. Nova Scotia will look to get that ball up ahead. Running up through the middle there was Black. Rushing in toward the front of goal, calling for it is Jabir. And Mohamed Jabir had the arm in the air, was calling for the pass, but it went into the keeper. And New Brunswick turn it back the other way. Just about 6 minutes to go now in this half. Nova Scotia continues to lead 1-0. New Brunswick down that right side, trying to work it over toward the middle, but it's blocked down and again goes out of play. Cool, brisk evening here in Wolfville. Staying at the beautiful Beach Breeze Hotel. It's down in Grand Pré, probably about 10 minutes from our location here, and it quite literally is right on the water. I come out the door, walk about 10 paces. There's a little cliff, a walk down, and you are smack dab looking at a beautiful landscape of rocks and cliffs and water. Chance in front. And some fans screaming, but no problem, says Seamus McDonald, as he just scoops that up and calmly throws it up the field. And that was knocked down by Nova Scotia, so it's a free kick now for New Brunswick. Less than 5 minutes to go here now in this first half. Getting ready to put it forward now. This is Harrison Buck. Buck launches it forward and might have been trying to get it ahead for O, who looked to run onto that ball, but just a little bit beyond his reach, so it'll be a goal kick now as Seamus McDonald will have to make the long run down through the end zone, across the track, over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house. He gets the ball, retrieves it. Good workout there for Seamus McDonald, as he had to. That's a few times we've seen goalies have to chase that ball down beyond the track and in the little hill down behind. I get a little chuckle when I see that, kind of funny, in a good way. New Brunswick heads that ball forward now onto the foot of Brennan. Brennan couldn't advance it. Nova Scotia once again back in possession. McKinnon. Back line now once again for Doucette. Doucette walks with it, now decides to try to go up the carpet with it. Little back heel forward there from Warren. And now, oh, can they get the give and go with Brudeau? Back to Buck, now to Brudeau. Brudeau looks to push it forward, tried to lean into it with the right foot. Got knocked down just beyond the reach of Schaefer. Back up toward midfield again. This is O. Try to just leave it off there for his teammate. I'm sorry, that was Schaefer looking for O. Schaefer chases his man down into the corner, and the ball goes again out of play. Less than 3 minutes to go now in this half. We'll keep an eye on the head official, Darcy Bristol. Mr. Bristol has control of the time, regardless of what a field clock or my timer might say. It all comes down to the head referee's timekeeping and his watch. So when Darcy Bristol says the half is over, that's when it's over. Not before and not until. Into the middle. Can New Brunswick get a foot on it and get something on goal? Came out towards Buck, but it was beyond him, and Nova Scotia now looking to get that ball forward. Trying to run onto it there was Mohamed Jabber, but a nice job by Mumbo to get there first. Nova Scotia knew what they wanted to do, but they just couldn't pull the trigger on the play. Back it goes now. Quick little up pass. Nice move there. Now New Brunswick looks to get that ball up a little further, but it's Warren who comes up with a nice defensive play, picking the pocket of his man. Here comes Warren looking to get to that middle part of the field again, but he got stopped. And now back the other way comes New Brunswick. Here's Brudeau. Brudeau, one man to beat. Can he get by him? Cuts to his right, dumps it off. Brudeau heads toward the front of the goal, tries to get a shot on net. So a nice run there by Brudeau. He brought it up the middle of the field, dumped it off to the right, headed toward the front of the goal, looked for the return pass. They tried to get it to him, and he couldn't quite connect, but a nice run there and a nice play, and almost connection for New Brunswick. By my count, we're under a minute here in this half. 1-0 your score, Nova Scotia leading. Been a pretty good half so far. Corner kick comes in through a crowd. Legs everywhere, but it's Nova Scotia who come down with it, and they'll clear it out of harm's way. New Brunswick want to quickly get it right back in. I'm sure they're aware that we're getting down to the last little bit of this half. Question now will be, is there going to be any extra time added on here? Can New Brunswick work it over? They try to get it in toward the front of the goal, but the shot goes a little awry and ends up hitting the side of the Nova Scotia net. And that'll be a goal kick for Seamus McDonald. So Seamus McDonald with the clean sheet working here in this first half. Launches that one well downfield. Good loft on that for sure. So we should be getting the official announcement now, or the official call, I should say, of any extra time, because by my count, we've pretty much gone through the 40 minutes. But again, I'm unofficial. It's referee Bristol who makes that call. Nova Scotia with the ball now. Working it up the sideline. And it goes out of bounds over on that far side. New Brunswick will throw it in. Mambo. New Brunswick trying to work it down the sideline. And it goes out of bounds once again. New Brunswick trying to work that ball toward the front of the goal. Here they come now, win with some pace. Trying to get a foot on it there was Brennan. That was broken up and Nova Scotia clears it away. Ball up ahead, here comes Nova Scotia now, trying to push it forward. Over on that far sideline. Mohamed Jabir looks to be on the hobble a little bit after getting knocked down moments ago. Well, the time official showed us the digital clock with extra time, but the digital lights were not working. So the effort was there, but not the result. So I'm not sure how much added time there is in this half. We'll make a wild guess and say 2 minutes. That ball soars up high and over the goal, rustling the mesh in behind. Here comes Nova Scotia now. This is the goal scorer, Warren. Lone goal in this half. Ball goes out of bounds. Back to pick that ball up is Doucette. He calmly goes back to the keeper, McDonald. McDonald getting some pressure there from Brideau. Dumps it off to the side. Up ahead on that far line. New Brunswick clearing it back in. Another long ball forward. Nova Scotia trying to run onto it, but New Brunswick there first, and it will go out of bounds, and it's a throw-in for New Brunswick. And there is the end of the first half. So 1 goal, and it came early, and it was off the foot of William Warren in the 3rd minute, and after 1 half, it's 1-0. Nova Scotia under 18 boys leading New Brunswick under 17 boys. You're watching the 2016 under 18 Atlantic Showcase presented by Soccer Nova Scotia, presented live and exclusively via webcast on Bell Alliant TV1. We'll step aside, take a break, and be back with the second half in about 10 minutes. Second half of this game just about set to get underway. Both teams on the pitch ready to go. And there it is with the blast of the referee's whistle. We are underway. Second half action here. Nova Scotia U18 boys in blue with white trim. Going right to left on your screen now. New Brunswick U17 boys with the green and black with white trim. Going left to right. Nova Scotia leading 1-0. Goal in the 3rd minute by number 12, William Warren. It's the final half of the final game on day 1 here at the Under 18 Atlantic Showcase. This event presented by Soccer Nova Scotia, being hosted here at Raymond Field, Katy University in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, and of course being presented live via webcast on Bell Alliant TV1. I'm Scott Squires. Glad to have you with us here. Our Bell Alliant TV1 crew will be here for the entire event. Of course, full slate of games tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. New Brunswick trying to get some pressure on, trying to get some balls in toward that Nova Scotia goal. Goaltenders now in goal for Nova Scotia in this second half is Jack Nielsen. And for New Brunswick, it is Christian Masamengo. Nova Scotia now trying to get that ball forward. And it was blocked down smartly there as Tristan Keith stopped that attempt for a through ball. Nova Scotia brings it over into the middle. Blocked down by New Brunswick. Back out around that 35-yard mark. Nova Scotia looks to bring it in, trying to step around his man was McKinnon. Nova Scotia quickly on that ball. Alex Black tried to move it over, but New Brunswick will block it down and move it forward. Good job there, Nova Scotia aggressive. Mambo comes out to stop it and move it up. Gersh Mambo, number 17 for New Brunswick, played a very strong half for New Brunswick in that first half and looks to pick up right where he left off here in half number 2. Very strong on that back end for New Brunswick. Ball kicked up ahead by Schaefer for New Brunswick, Jordy Schaefer. And now it's New Brunswick once again. Trying that far side of the field now, seeing if they can penetrate that Nova Scotia defense. Full night sky here now in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Just past 9:30. Excuse me, local time here. 9:31 to be exact. Atlantic Daylight Time. We are in full darkness now and under full effect of the field lights here at Raymond Field. New Brunswick looks to work that ball down the wing. Here comes Keith. Keith tried to work it up but couldn't get past that Nova Scotia staunch defense again, and here come the boys in blue. This is Alex Black. Down the left side, will he cross it over? He does indeed, gets a shot away, save made, Masamengo down, and what a save by Masamengo! Christian Masamengo into the game and making a huge save there as Nova Scotia and Alex Black with a beautiful rush down the wing, crossed the ball over, a scramble in front, Masamengo down, and scrambling, he keeps it out and keeps it a 1-0 lead. Well, you talk about a potential TV1 game changer, that could be it. Even though it's still 1-0 Nova Scotia, if New Brunswick are able to come back here, that could be a pivotal turning point in this game. A game changer it could be indeed. That was spectacular goaltending. New Brunswick knocking that ball down again. Here comes Nova Scotia on the attack once again, looking to go right up the heart of the pitch. New Brunswick, though, turns it back now with some pace. Here they come. New Brunswick looking to break it into the Nova Scotia end, but a nice sliding tackle there, and the ball cleared away by Nova Scotia. Any tweets that you're sending out related to the Under 18 Atlantic Showcase, include the hashtag TV1. We'd be glad to retweet it for you or even mention it on the air if you want to say hello to somebody or mention a particular player. Just about 7 minutes gone by here in this second half. Nova Scotia continues to lead, and they almost made it 2-0 moments ago, but Christian Masamengo into the game, playing goal for New Brunswick in the second half. Spectacular diving save. Playing around the midfield area now. New Brunswick again trying to get something in toward the front of that goal. See if they can test Nielsen. Again, both coaches going with a 2-goaltender system here. Nielsen and Masamengo fresh into the game here in this second half. Throw in now from that corner area for New Brunswick. Ball headed out toward that 20-yard area. New Brunswick player heavily taken to the turf, and Nova Scotia carries right on. Up the field with some speed. Busting down that left side is Black. See if they can get it to him. They don't. But you could see Black was making a run down that left side, hoping that they might be able to chip that ball over to him and let him make a run on goal. But New Brunswick shut the door, and now Masamengo will kick it up toward center. Here's Black. Goes back with it now to McKillop. But it's New Brunswick back the other way. Scalabrin got it ahead. Little ball over towards the middle. It was Scalabrin. Wasn't sure. He might have been betwixt and between. Wanted to put it on goal. Maybe wanted to put it over in the middle for one of his mates to get a shot on net. And it ended up going somewhere in between and wide of the goal. So it'll be a goal kick now for Jack Nielsen. As we play on in this second half, Nova Scotia continuing to lead by a score of 1-0. New Brunswick gathering up that ball. Mambo gets it over in the mid part of the field. Nice pass up ahead, finding Keith. Tristan Keith lost it. Got it back there. Nova Scotia. Once again, Jack Nielsen. Puts that one high into the air. Nova Scotia looking to run onto it there. Grant Gerard tried to get ahead with it, and it goes all the way back to Nielsen, and he wastes no time sending it right back up the field. Headed forward there by New Brunswick. Nova Scotia gets to it first. Right over in the middle, fanning on that chance on goal. Another chance there coming off the left foot of the New Brunswick striker. Back in the middle, long shot there, again blocked down. So some good chances right in around that 20-yard box in the scoring area, just in front of that Nova Scotia goal, but nothing finding the range. But a good sequence of pressure there from New Brunswick. Sandwith. New Brunswick now goes to their back line, looking to set things back up. Mombo. He'll just chip it over on that far side. Ball ahead for New Brunswick and picked off there. Nova Scotia just clears it out of the zone. Just over 11 minutes gone by here in this second half. 1-0 the score. Nova Scotia leading at only tally of the game way back in the first half in the 3rd minute, and it was struck by William Warren. New Brunswick has had a few more opportunities here in this second half, but still have not found pay dirt. But again, let's not forget a little while ago that huge save that Christian Masamengo made off that cross pass from Alex Black. Was a huge save and a big moment, certainly for New Brunswick, keeping that score at 1-0. And really, since that save, New Brunswick has had a couple of really good chances of their own. Black takes it in toward the middle, gets challenged there. Nice defensive work from Jordy Schaefer. And New Brunswick once again brings it up on that far side. Sandwith heading toward the middle. Can they cross it in there? No, they can't. Gets blocked down. So now this looks to be potentially a free kick from a pretty dangerous area for New Brunswick. Just outside that 20-yard marker. So Nova Scotia will set up the wall. But this comes from a pretty dangerous distance for Jack Nielsen in goal and for this Nova Scotia side. So we'll see if there's any magic here in New Brunswick's foot. They score! And there it is. I said it was from dangerous distance, and indeed it was. A beautiful ball struck by New Brunswick, and just the right height over the outstretched fingertips of Jack Nielsen, and New Brunswick has tied it at 1. A lovely free kick strike finds twine, and we are tied at 1. So that goal for New Brunswick coming in the 53rd minute. And what a glorious strike it was. Well, as they were setting it up, my words were somewhat prophetic. And as I said, that was a very dangerous distance. Whenever you've got potential to set up a free kick in and around that 20-yard area, that's good distance for most strikers, and New Brunswick making no mistake. Well, let's go back again to that save by Christian Masamengo. I said at the time it could be a TV1 game changer, and it certainly has been for New Brunswick. They have really rode the wave of momentum from that Masamengo save, and they've had good chances, they've had good looks on goal, and they got the free kick, and they made no mistake, and we are tied at 1, my friends. Just a lovely, lovely ball in. And really nothing Jack Nielsen could do. He played it as best he could. And just the perfect amount of height, the perfect amount of loft. And it found the back of the goal as that kick came right up toward our broadcast area here. Not quite high enough to make it in, forcing me to make a save, but I was at the ready. I was on my toes and ready to make that save. And we had to come up here. Put me in, coach. I'm ready. Warren doing some nice ball handling there. Takes on two defenders himself. Brings it in toward the middle of the field. Spinning with it there now is Tristan Keith. And the New Brunswick player hitting the deck hard there, getting up and kind of putting his back in the Nova Scotia defender. Play carries on. Ball thrown in there by Sens. Avery Sens got it in. Looked to get it back now, but he gives way to his teammate. And it's McKillop. Gets it over for Black. Black goes back into the middle of the field. Nice little ball over. Right idea, they just couldn't connect. Coming in with it now. Sens once again. Takes it along the line. Right in front, and Masamengo down. And with bodies in front once again, Masamengo sees all kinds of traffic in front of him, but the ball got brought deep into the line. Sens put it over toward the front. Masamengo right on his line. Had a lot of traffic in front, but it ends up bouncing harmlessly in behind the goal, but an anxious moment there again. So Masamengo, after watching from the bench in the first half, has been thrown into the fire here a couple of times in this second half, but has been equal to the task, and we stayed tied at 1. Ball up into midfield. Nova Scotia will look now to get it forward again. And Masamengo well out of his goal to grab that. Rolls it over. And now this is Gersh Mambo. Mambo gives it off to the far wing. Back to Mambo. He's being watched there. Quick little pass. Right along the turf and up. And the crowd's certainly into it now. In particular, the New Brunswick faithful here. New Brunswick looking to chip that ball forward, see if they can get it up over the center line. Nova Scotia challenges, and the ball goes out of bounds. Substitution now coming in for Nova Scotia. Checking into the game, Cohen Reddick and William Warren will take a seat on the bench. So for Nova Scotia, 12 out, 11 in. Nova Scotia again now trying to play that control game, but play whistle down, and we'll have another stoppage. Got a tweet here from Chloe Warren. Now, I'm not sure if I'm assuming that, there's a connection with the last name, but Chloe tweets out, impressed by William Warren's goal 3 minutes in. Go Nova Scotia, hashtag TV1, hashtag Atlantic Soccer Showcase. Well, Chloe, I was pretty impressed by William's goal as well, the way he cut into toward the center. Went through the defense, and another close chance in front there, but William's goal was absolutely a quality strike. And right now stands as the only Nova Scotia goal. Anxious moments there a second ago as the ball went up over top of the New Brunswick goal. Another substitution now, this time it's for New Brunswick. Checking into the game is Simon Brideau, and taking a rest will be Scott Sandwith. So for New Brunswick, 12 in and 19 out. New Brunswick faithful with chance of go NB. Nasamengo, a line drive kick off a couple of heads and finally comes down to the turf. A couple of players battle for it there, and it's Gerard who comes away with it for Nova Scotia, but then it's turned over. And another fight for it right along the sideline there. Back and forth, ball changing possessions about 10 times in the last 5 seconds. And now it's New Brunswick who looks to defend here as Nova Scotia brings it in with some pace. Nice moves around the center part there. Reddick battling against two. What a job there by Reddick, as he's got two defenders all over him. Goes to the crowd. I'm not sure how he did that, but he got the ball off to the wing. Great work there by Reddick for Nova Scotia. And a tough tackle there, as getting shoved to the ground was Brideau, and it looks like the yellow card has been shown to number 20, Avery Sens. So Sens took liberties with Brideau, shoved him to the turf, and the official will have none of that. So Sens gets shown the yellow, and New Brunswick with the free kick. Ball into the midfield area, put ahead there by Schaefer. New Brunswick on it once again. Schaefer has that ball, tries to work around his defender. Schaefer spins around, does nice work, trying to split through the defense. Nova Scotia stands tall, blocks it down. There's been some impressive ball handling and dribbling from both of these teams. Some very great skill shown here by these two sides. I mean, these essentially are provincial all-star teams that are strutting their stuff here at this showcase. And that ball put over towards the middle there, and just not able to get a head on it there were a couple of New Brunswick players who were in the area about 10 yards in front of that Nova Scotia goal. So we are getting down to the short strokes of it here. 17:35 unofficially left here in this second half. 1-1 your score. Goals coming from William Warren for Nova Scotia in the 3rd minute. And New Brunswick tallying, didn't get the number of the player who took that free kick, but it was in the 53rd minute. Nova Scotia, Elliott got it over on the side there, trying to get it is McKillop. McKillop gets a toe on it, just gets it forward. Trying to step around now was Gerard. And New Brunswick ends up coming away with it. Brennan gets it forward now, and way out of the goal was Nielsen. With several players converging on him, Nielsen took matters into his own hands and cleared it away. Mumbo gets spun around on the defensive end for New Brunswick. New Brunswick pick it back up now, but it comes right back to Nova Scotia. Back and forth we go here in the late stages of this second half. Battle for it there, right around that 40-yard mark in the New Brunswick zone. Nova Scotia trying to get control. All kinds of tough 1v1, 2v1, 2v2, all kinds of battles all over the field going on right now. Both teams fighting for every inch of turf. Ball moved in again, and again a tough tackle there, and maybe a little too aggressive, and now we've got another yellow card shown here. I'm not sure who it was for, but the official came into that pile and showed the yellow card. I'm not sure, he may have been, I don't know if he gave it to New Brunswick or Nova, well, it had to be New Brunswick because it's a free kick being awarded to Nova Scotia. Now we see the official, very matter of fact, getting things set up here, but another yellow card shown. That's our second yellow of this game. And the ball is struck, and Nasamengo out of his goal there to make a great save. And again on the rebound, he grabs it. Masamengo has been the man here in goal. Long ball up ahead now. New Brunswick trying to run onto it. It was Harold O trying to catch up there. Great action at both ends off the free kick. It was either Jack Elliott, I believe it was Jack Elliott, who took that free kick, but it was a well-struck ball into a crowd. Masamengo had to make the save. Nova Scotia coming back for more. And then on the rebound, Masamengo again jumping high in the air to grab it. Here's Nova Scotia again. Girard gets it over into the middle, trying to get it into the top of the box, but it's cleared away. Nova Scotia with some pressure now. Again, another hard tackle, and now I think the official reaching for the yellow card again. I believe he may have just shown that to Zane Brennan, perhaps. 14 in green. So that's back-to-back yellow cards in quick succession against New Brunswick. And another free kick coming here. This one just a little bit further out from about 41 yards out. But another free kick opportunity lofted into a crowd and headed away. New Brunswick may want to take a deep breath here and get their emotions in check. They do not want to give this Nova Scotia team any more opportunities from the free kick areas. Nova Scotia has shown they can strike the ball very well when given the opportunity, and right now, Masamengo has made some spectacular saves in this half to keep Nova Scotia at just the single goal. Less than 15 minutes to go, as a matter of fact, well under that, 13:21 to be exact on my unofficial clock. My Bell Alliance smartphone keeping time for me here in this half. And that long kick from Masamengo bounces over into the stands and ricochets right back onto the field. Scrambly play again. Comes back to Sens. Sens sees that ball squirt free, tried to race after it, but it was cleared away by New Brunswick. .12:30 now left on the clock here. We are coming up to 9:55 Atlantic time here in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Bell Alliance TV1 is proud to be the official webcaster for the 2016 Under-18 Atlantic Showcase, presented by Soccer Nova Scotia, live from Raymond Field at Acadia University in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Bell Alliance, there's more to love with fiber op. .11:53 and counting. This game is tied, and again, I'd like to reiterate that throughout the round robin, there is no overtime period, there is no shootout. So if the game ends in a draw, that's the way it goes into the standings. New Brunswick wants to have something to say about that, though. They look to move that ball forward. Looking to get it up there. That was Keith. And Keith now will get the throw in. Takes it quickly. Sens watching things on the defensive end. Nice move by Brideau as Brideau goes through and gets shoved down to the turf by Sens. And over comes the referee, and if this is a yellow card for Sens, he could be out of the game. We'll wait and see here. Well, Sens took Brideau heavily to the turf, and the New Brunswick fans reacted, and referee Darcy Bristol headed over that way, but no card shown, but free kick awarded. Curls it in, looking for someone to get ahead on it perhaps. So a nice effort there by Tristan Keith with the free kick. Tried to curl it into the middle, see if one of his mates could get a foot on it. And some more scrambly play as the ball was pushed in toward the Nova Scotia goal, but finally Nova Scotia able to clear it away. Time now melting off of the clock. We are under 10 minutes left in this second half. 9:55 and counting by my unofficial time clock. Up on that far line, New Brunswick get to it first. Nova Scotia trying to advance that ball, but it's New Brunswick who get to it, and they'll move it up. Here they come. Right up through the middle, and finally Nova Scotia able to collapse and force that turnover. Nova Scotia now, McKillop gets it up ahead. Nova Scotia trying to catch up to that ball. Past that last line of defense, Mumbo is there. It goes by him. He backs off now to protect more toward the front of the goal. Nova Scotia takes it out wide. They try to curl it into the middle. Knocking it down there was Gerard. Ball comes in from the side again, and that bounces harmlessly into Christian Masamengo, and he'll just squeeze it and hang on. Masamengo sends it well up forward. Nova Scotia will just return the favor and send it right back the other way. Grant Gerard gives it off now and cuts back the other way. Nova Scotia with the ball coming in along the side now is Cohen Reddick. Reddick tried to make a move, but it goes out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in now for New Brunswick. Ball comes up and put right back in there as Josh McKillop sent it in deep. Masamengo has no problem with that. He sends it forward. $7:50 to go now. New Brunswick once again gets it across midfield, and it goes off a New Brunswick player and out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for Nova Scotia. 1-1 your score here. Tie game, late stages of this second half. Here's Brideau. Brideau tried to advance it, but he's turned back now, and here comes Nova Scotia the other way. Gerard gets it up there for Black. Black tries to put it through the legs of the defender, can't get it past, and coming away with it now is Scalabrin. Scalabrin moves it up ahead. Trying to run onto it there was Taylor. Bounces down, Nova Scotia gets there first, Sens. Chests it down now. Sens turns his back to the defender, gives it off to his teammate. Nova Scotia looking to chip that ball forward. Here comes McKillop again. McKillop with a gentle little pass forward, trying to make a move in with it now is McKinnon. McKinnon with another shot to save there. McKinnon with the low laser, and the save made again. Masamengo sprawls out, extends the arms, and knocks it wide. So a nice sequence from Nova Scotia. Good ball on goal from McKillop, and a fine save once again from Masamengo. Corner comes in. A couple of players get ahead on it. Nova Scotia trying to settle it. Black tried to get a quick strike away. That ball lifted high in the air and out of play. Sens puts it in now for Elliott. Elliott gets challenged, keeps control, sends it forward. That's headed down by New Brunswick. Scalabrin tried to get a foot on it and couldn't. Back to Sens. Sens gets it forward. Both teams sensing that time is a-wasting. Ball put back in. Nova Scotia covering up well in front of that 20-yard box. Back out there, headed down by Schaefer, Jordy Schaefer. took one for the team there, and here comes Nova Scotia back the other way. Long ball forward. Nova Scotia couldn't catch up to it. It goes out of bounds. And now Gerard will leave it there, and Sens will throw it in. Avery Sens gets it in play. Here comes Black. He's been tricky in this half. Black goes to the left foot. He scores! Black, what a strike from 30 yards! Glorious, glorious goal from number 2, Alex Black. Well, I said he'd been tricky and dangerous, and he proves to be just that right there. And that perhaps is a dagger to the heart of New Brunswick with only 4:41 left. In the 75th minute. What a strike. My goodness, Alex Black from distance, about 30 yards out, just loaded up and just drove a beautiful ball into the back of the goal, and not much Masamengo could do with that. That was a world-class strike off the foot of Mr. Alex Black right there. Quality, quality goal. My goodness. You don't see him much better than that. That was a thing of beauty. And I'll tell you what, you can watch 40, 50, 60, 80, 100 minutes of soccer and not see a goal. And it's all worth it when you see a strike like that. My goodness. Just world-class quality right there. Unbelievable. And again, full marks to Black because he put that in a place that Masamengo just couldn't get to, because Masamengo has been just wonderful here in this half, goaltending for New Brunswick. It could probably be 4-1 right now if not for the heroics of Christian Masamengo. So, again, full marks to Masamengo for how well he's played in goal, but my gosh, great strike from Alex Black. 2-1 Nova Scotia. Inside 3 minutes unofficially of regulation, and of course it's all up to the head official, Darcy Bristol, as to how much time he may or may not add on here. Fight for it right around that 40-yard box. Here's Black again. Do you think he might be thinking about putting it toward goal once more? Mac Murray now fighting for it. Over on that far side, goes just beyond Murray. Nova Scotia looks to get it in deep again. Black hitting toward the front of the goal, but it bounces into Masamengo, and he'll gather it up. New Brunswick's got to hurry now. 2:05 left unofficially here. Trying to get ahead with it was Brideau. He's dangerous if he gets space. Down the line, Grant Gerard chases after it. So a substitution coming in here. So it'll be number 7, Mohamed Jabir, checking into the game, and the man who scored the go-ahead goal, Alex Black, will take a seat. So Jabir into the game, Black out. 2 out, 7 in. 1:15 unofficially left in regulation of this second half. Mambo gets it back to Masamengo. They've got to get that ball forward and in a hurry. No time to dilly-dally here. New Brunswick needs to equalize, and they need to get that ball up into the Nova Scotia end of the field. Running up that right side is Keith. Keith looking for it, but it goes beyond him and out of bounds. But Keith now will get to throw it in for New Brunswick. Headed down and back to Keith. Keith tries to step around the defender. New Brunswick trying to find a way to break through the Nova Scotia defense and get it in toward goal. But Nova Scotia able to clear it away and clear it away smartly. And Mohamed Jabir just into the game. Watch that ball roll out of bounds, and it'll be thrown in now by Sens. Less than 30 seconds of regulation time left. Here's Jabeur, tried to get a shot around the New Brunswick defender, but it was blocked down there. New Brunswick moves it up the field. This is what they've got to do, but time is of the essence now, and the question is, how much added time are we going to have? Two minutes of added time, so we are into extra time right now. And a hard tackle over on that far side. Both players, Jabeur gets up and runs into his man, so some strong physical play over on that far side as Keith and Jabeur came together. We are into extra time here. Approximately 1:30 left. New Brunswick has to get that ball forward. They trail 2-1. It's been a very closely contested game. We've seen ebbs and flows, and we've seen momentum go back and forth, no question about it. And right now, momentum is with Nova Scotia. Keith, out of his goal, moves it forward. Nova Scotia defending that back line now. You wouldn't expect to see more than one, maybe two up front, and the remainder of Nova Scotia, I'm sure, will be hovering in toward that back line. Approximately 45 seconds left in extra time. I've got 1:20 and counting into the extra time and counting upwards now toward 2 minutes. So 1:28, 1:29, 1:30 and counting. And having to chase that ball off to the track and down the hill is not going to help. Of course, the referee always has the discretion to go beyond the 2 minutes that he announced, but rarely will they go much beyond 5 or 10 seconds over what they announced as added time. Getting close now, keep an eye on the official. And there it is, 3 blasts of the official's whistle, and New Brunswick bent over at the hip. Some of the players, I'm sure, feeling disappointment as they battled hard and fought back to tie the game. But that incredible strike from 40 yards by Alex Black, the difference, and Nova Scotia full marks for the victory. Well, that wraps up our full day coverage for day 1 here. On behalf of myself, Scott Squires, as well as our Bell Alliance TV1 crew, I want to thank you very much for joining us today and being a part of our webcast. You've been watching the Under-18 Atlantic Soccer Showcase presented by Soccer Nova Scotia live from Acadia University, Raymond Field here in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. It's been a pleasure to have you on board. Once again, your final score, Nova Scotia Under-18 boys defeat New Brunswick Under-17 boys by the slimmest of margins. The final score, 2-1. We'll be back with you tomorrow. We'll be on the air at noon Atlantic time. It'll be girls action, our first game up for you, as New Brunswick Under-18 take on PEI Under-18. Until then, thanks very much for watching. Have a great evening and good night from Raymond Field in Wolfville, Nova Scotia.